we'll get started because it's 8:01. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you're already on break, especially thank you. Or if you're coming up on break soon, um, we go to school on Friday up here in Fort Wayne, so it's still normal work week for me. Nick's going to keep dropping the agenda in the chat so you can make sure you sign in so we can keep your attendance there, and you can follow along with the agenda as well. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. It'll be a shorter one. We did have a registration help session before this, in case you forgot. There are some other ones coming up, and we'll highlight those times here in the meeting as well. I'm going to try to remember to make Discord events for those in addition, in case those are helpful to you all. I think they are, so we'll keep doing them. Quick follow-up from last meeting, we talked about when matches were done and needed reported by. Nominations for the board and competition council we'll revisit in this meeting as well. Remember, we're having sanctions for dropped and forfeiting teams starting next semester. If you forfeit more than 2 matches, you're going to be demoted to club for a semester. So make sure if you're signing up for varsity or academy level competition, you are completing all of your matches. If you're worried about your teams completing those matches, sign up for club instead. Then you won't have to worry about those penalties. LeagueOS updates, communication notifications are coming. We're told January. We're going to cross our fingers and keep hoping for that because we know that's been a pain point for communication on LeagueOS. They're working on it, and we should have that resolved in January. The Y Esports video competition we'll talk about as well, and we went over some other reminders. So new business for tonight. We're starting with announcing some board resignations, which sounds ominous. I don't know if it is or not, I suppose. Those of you that are new might not even remember or know Ben Underwood, who was a founding member of ISEN. He stepped down back in August, but we did not officially announce that until January when his term is up. So here's the official announcement, and then in January he'll drop off the board. The other one is Nathan. Nathan stepping down from the board. So Nathan, if you wanted to say a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure being with you all, helping grow Indiana esports. It's just kind of felt like the right time to step down. I kind of want to focus more on KB's program and kind of let some new blood into the board of directors as well too. So, but no, been a pleasure with, and I'll still be a coach at KB, so I'll still be around.
Yeah, we're super appreciative of Nathan and everything he's done. Nathan's kind of the guy in the background that does a lot of stuff that nobody sees. So we're gonna miss that. And like you said, he's still gonna be around. So, but he's gonna leave a hole. On that note, we want to remind everyone that there are open requests for nominations and volunteers for a few different positions in Indiana Esports Network leadership. The first one is for members of the board of directors. If you are interested, you can nominate others or volunteer yourself to be considered for a member of the board of directors. We meet as necessary, but at least monthly to discuss things, handling a lot of the back end of running the leagues and the organizations, but also community relations, interfacing with publishers and other partners in the space, all of those sorts of things. So if you've been around for a while and are interested in that, let us know. You can drop one of us a DM or just kind of volunteer in Discord. Or if you think there's someone else who needs voluntold that you think might be really good, you could drop their name and we can reach out to them and ask as well. And another thing we're looking for is mentors. So we're still growing. We have a lot of new schools. We've onboarded, I don't know, Nick, how many in the last off season, but 20
A
plus,
lot.
at least 20 new schools in the last few weeks since the season has ended. And there's a lot of new coaches who need help. We're happy to do that as board of directors, but sometimes it seems like it would be more helpful for new schools to have one coach as a point person that would be kind of their mentor. This would not be a really big time commitment, nothing formalized, but something like a point person. If a coach has a question and they know they can ask you and you can help them, or you can point them in the direction of someone who can. So again, not necessarily a formalized thing that you need to spend a lot of time on, but if you've been around for a while, if you want to share some of the expertise and the knowledge that you've gained, consider volunteering to be a mentor, and we can pair you with some of these new coaches and help provide some of those opportunities. A newer thing that we're looking at is the idea of a game manager. So in the past, we've had what we call title runners, who are people in charge of a specific game, everything about that game. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, and frankly, we're having trouble getting people to do that for good reason. So the idea is, what if we change that into a game manager? And the thought behind that is, it's not a person who's setting up the matches, who's doing all the rule sets and evaluating all those sorts of things, but it's a point person for that game. So maybe you're really comfortable with Super Smash Brothers. You could be a game manager for SSBU, in which if someone's like, "Hey, I don't remember how counter picks work for stages," they would ask you, and you could explain that to them. Or, "Hey, I'm really having trouble reporting the score on LeagueOS. Can you remind me how to do this tie?" So you have some experience and knowledge about that game, but it's not rule decisions. It's not the entire, kind of title runner that it was before. It's more of facilitating and helping coaches run the specific title on the day of the match. If you're interested for a specific title, you can volunteer for that as well. In particular, we would really like to have game managers for our tournament titles. Those are some of the ones that take a little bit more investment on a weekly basis. So if you're interested in chess, Tetris, Fortnite, really those three, iRacing we've got covered, and want to be a game manager or partner with someone to be a game manager, that would be awesome in terms of helping. So if you have more questions about that, we can chat about that too and what that looks like for specific games. But we're more than happy to kind of train you in that role for this coming semester for spring, in hopes that you would then kind of take over that in fall. So we wouldn't just kind of throw you into the deep end all at once. We'd have that training period over the next semester, and then kind of hopefully make that full transition come fall of next year. Hopefully that makes sense. Fall winners for IMSEN and Unified. Nick, you want to announce those?
Yes, of course. Yeah, congratulations to Lafayette Jeff on winning the Unified Rocket League Esports State Championship. That is awesome. And also congratulations to Argos Middle School for winning the Minecraft Middle School State Championship. And then just today it was decided that Anthony, yep, right there, he and the Northside Middle School team won the IMSEN Rocket League Fall State Championship. A lot of great players, a lot of great matches in that tournament. It was fun to watch, and congratulations to all of you guys. And your trophies they are done. They will be sent out once January rolls around.
Cool. Registration question. Some things that we had come up from a few people during the registration window that's now open. The question was, do schools register for spring if they played in fall? Yes. Regardless of if you played in fall, you still have to register for spring. So if you did play in fall, you will still see a little check mark on that competition page that says you registered in August or whenever that was. But you do need to register again for spring. It's the same exact process. You'll select your team from the little drop down after you click register, and you'll be good to go. Um, by default, all those teams are pending until one of us goes in the back end and confirms them. We'll do that periodically, every couple of days. So if you're not sure if you registered correctly, you can reach out to us and we can check. You can attend one of the help sessions. But after a few days, once we confirm all the teams, you should be able to go to the rosters tab of that competition and see your roster listed as a competing team. Another big question is, what do schools do that played in fall but aren't playing in spring? That one is easy, nothing. If you're not playing in spring, just don't register. Everyone got deactivated from fall, so there's no registrations that will carry over. You just have to re-register if you want to play in spring. If you are not, you don't have anything to do. Keep in mind with that, though, that only teams that play in spring at the high school level are qualifying for the playoffs and state championships. So if you only played in fall, you do not qualify for playoffs at the end of spring. Keep that in mind.
And just to add on to that real quick, for those of you who are familiar with what we mean by chartering, you're not chartering, so we're not asking you to fill out paperwork or anything outside of just putting your teams into the correct competitions on LeagueOS and making sure those rosters are filled.
Yep. Um, Yeah.
Real quick with
Mhm.
that, sorry. I know you said you're going to go through and approve all of the teams and stuff. Is there a way that we'll know that so that we can go look and make sure? Because I'm pretty sure I did it right, but I just want to make certain.
Yeah, I can drop a little like note in the LeagueOS or in the announcement channel every time that we go through and update them or something like that. But always just feel free to reach out as well with a DM or in the LeagueOS channel and just be like, hey, I think I did this right, and we can take a peek real quick and look. Anything else before we go on to upcoming dates? And we can take questions at the end as well. All right. We mentioned this before, but again, registration help sessions. There's 2 more coming up, January 3rd and January 10th at 7 p.m. The 10th is before the mandatory coaches meeting. On January 10th at 8 p.m., we will have another mandatory coaches meeting. If you cannot make it to live participation, we will again do an ed puzzle, Nick's favorite thing in the world, where you have to answer along with questions to make sure your participation is documented. So keep that in mind. That's when we'll announce new board of director members, members for mentors, all those sorts of things as well. We'll go over necessities for the spring split, make sure everyone's on the same page. We'll talk about some changes for next school year as well to give you a lot of lead time going up to that. And we'll spend some time talking about state finals in April. Registration deadline, remember, we missed the date there, but that is January 12th. I remember because it is my birthday, so that's great. 11:59 p.m. So keep that in mind. We already had a few people ask, like, I don't remember who it was, but like, what if I'm planning on doing it at 11 p.m.? That's fine. It will close at 11:59 though, so if you missed that, let us know and we can try to do some things. But we already have a very short turnaround. Realize that's a Friday, and then Monday matches start. So we have very little time to go through and create all the schedules and all the things on the back end. So that is a hard deadline, unfortunately. Just keep that in mind. Spring split starts on the 15th. The calendar's there. Remember, the spring calendar is much more condensed than the fall calendar. Fall, we took some breaks. Spring, we really only have 1 week break before the spring break month that we take off. So it's 5 weeks of competition in a row right off the bat. So keep that in mind as we're going into the spring split as well. Anderson is hosting a tournament. That link there to the registration page, that's on January 27th. Registration for that closes on the 25th. After the new year, we'll have some other announcements about tournaments as well. I know a few more of us are planning on hosting some tournaments, so you'll have those registrations coming up too.
And that's an in-person tournament for anyone wondering.
Correct.
And that's a high school tournament, right?
I don't know the
That's
specifics.
what it looks like.
We can check the
I clicked on
registration. Okay, and yeah, you can ping Anderson in Discord and ask them. I'm not sure.
It
Not
says
to
it's
one-up your
just for high
Discord.
school on the start
Yeah.
page, but
That's
I'm
what I
not
thought.
sure if they would be willing to allow middle school students to potentially attend.
Yeah.
Because that's the 27th, just to kind of follow up with what Joseph was talking about. That's the day before my birthday. Just
There you go.
throwing that out.
So yeah, you could reach out to Anderson and see if they have any ideas for middle
Okay.
school participation. But that is,
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of something they're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Video competition results. So those of you participated in the video competition, that is still in the process of being judged. Things have changed a little bit. So ViewSonic is still our partner with that, and they're providing some pricing. But we're kind of growing it even further than we thought. So AVI Systems is a big systems integration company. They've partnered with us in a few different ways. They're on board as well. So they're going to use their social media team and their graphic design team to kind of help make this even better than what we expected. They're going to put it out on their socials for a poll. They're also going to provide some pricing, I think, as well. So we've pumped the brakes a little bit on the competition. It hasn't stopped. We're just hoping it's bigger than what we originally planned. So if you submitted that video, be on the lookout for some more information coming soon. But we're working with additional partners to try to reach a larger audience, both for IEN and for your schools individually. And then a quick reminder about state finals, April 27th at Ball State. If that's not on your calendar yet, really put it there. last year was great. This year's going to be even better. Some of the highlighting differentiators between last year and this year is a college and career fair where we'll have other colleges and universities represented recruiting students, and then more sessions and more vendors. So it'll be a very exciting day where we're crowning 18. Nick is always the one that remembers his number.
17.
17 state champions that day in person at Ball State. So that'll be free to participate in for all students, regardless of if your team is playing in finals or not. So put that date down. We'd love to see you and your students and some of your community members there at Ball State on the 27th. And I think, Dylan, Nick, Nathan, I think that's all we had, unless I forgot something. I see.
And just to make
beers.
sure, sorry, just to make sure the state finals Ball State thing is middle school and high school, right?
Yep. So all the state champions from spring middle school will be played that day in those championship matches, as well as high school.
And unified.
And Unified Smash Brothers. Yes. All right. Any questions for the good of everyone about things we talked about? You're free to ask them. If not, I'll end the recording and we can officially end the meeting in 17 minutes. But then you're free to stay around and hang out, ask questions, whatever you need.